before the Queen of the Seven Kingdoms with a dragon of House Targaryen.
Presenting this as if it's news. Can you imagine if Adam was like, oh shit, this is awkward. I mean, I knew you looked familiar, but I'd have bet my life this chap behind me was just a really angry flying fire donkey.
What do you want?
I want to stand a bit closer together so that we don't have to shout talk at each other. It's windy as balls out here and you're f***ing miles away. Also, I'd like to know on behalf of the fans if this means your ex-husband Laenor died off-screen or if I'm gonna have to fight him to keep sea smoke when he suddenly comes back. I don't know what fans and off-screen means, but some higher being called internet appears to have forced these questions into my subconscious.
And if the gods call me to greater things, who am I to refuse them?
I don't know, but wise leaps to mind. You know, based on the current life expectancy of the dragon riders on Team Rhaenyra.
You'll have a scar. But it would be easily hidden.
Thing Disney said about Lion King 2 Simba's Pride somehow makes it into the script.
Nothing is clean here.
Okay, team, this is going to be Allison's metaphorical journey episode, but let's keep it original and not start with anything too obvious. All right, I see a lot of hands raised. There are no bad ideas, but I'd like you to lower your hand if you're going to suggest cutting to a rat running across a table. Wow, not a single hand left then, huh? Let's go with the rat, but everything else must be original.
My squire. He heard it from a stable hand, who heard it from his father, a fisherman, whose shipmate claims he saw it.
Show reminds me that it has also fallen victim to a game of telephone. Seems like the message started as a crystal clear Game of Thrones, but with more dragons, and has somehow become Damon Moans, and who really wanted more dragons anyway? Larys is either very confident that he's standing in Aemon's blind spot, or he's fundamentally lost the will to live. Dude, at least pretend to bow or something when mad-eyed Broody is looking your way.
The lowborn cannot go around seizing dragons.
Understanding dragons so poorly that you think they can be seized. Did he not just witness Sir What's-His-Face Dead Now's attempt to seize a dragon? It's pretty obvious these dragons are not for seizing, although I'm rapidly wishing he would try himself.
She wishes him to be instructed in the art of dragon riding, and that I should teach him some High Valyrian.
She didn't specify what High Valyrian I should teach him, so I'm going to start with the dirty words and go from there.
So he serves you, and not himself. That it's lucky.
Lucky? Or somehow ordained?
Believing those two things are functionally different in any way that matters.
You trust this man?
What choice do I have? He has a dragon.
Rhaenyra would be excellent at dragons will f*** your shit up for the lol's sins.
Let us raise an army of bastards.
Hoping to inspire some of that Game of Thrones Battle of the Bastards goodwill via plotmosis.
Be welcome, my lords, and you have my thanks for answering my summons.
Thanking people for something they had no choice in.
I hope to begin well and go on from there.
Approaching the ruling of the Riverlands with the same vigor that I took to competitive knitting.
Why should we now follow a boy younger than my own sons?
Because that's how f***ing oaths work, you oaf. Things like age bother you, then you should consider ditching the monarchy and arrange for some free and fair elections. Those always go perfectly.
No matter how loathsome I may find her representative, the prince.
King, mind your tongue, boy. Will you have our army or not?
And there's the moment an entire audience fell in love with young Oscar Tully. He steals the entire scene out of nowhere, and it's exactly what Daemon needed. Heck, I'd be his vassal. Quick, take your sin back before the excitement of clearing a very low bar wears off.
I may have been a touch enthusiastic in pursuing my aims.
Well, at least one of us is enthusiastic about your arc this season. Also, describing baby killing as enthusiastic in front of the people whose babies you enthusiastically secondhand killed.
Denounce your crimes and dispense justice.
Oh dear.
Never change, Sir Simon. Never has a character spontaneously represented my inner monologue more. You'd get your own sin removal if I didn't suspect you of being the cursed manifestation of that meme of the man who's constantly dying inside.
I never wanted it.
Neither did we, and yet the hallucinations continue.
Crush it, whoever wears it.
And we took that personally. The castle bricks that killed Cersei Lannister. The fact I couldn't tell if these were moans of pain or if Aegon and the Grand Maester were exploring a new relationship says more about the show than me, I hope. By the old gods and the new, could you get the man a walking stick that can hold his weight? No wonder the poor bastard is struggling. He's the fucking king and you've skimped on the fucking walking apparatus? Was it a present from Aemond? None of the guards tasked with guarding Rhaena's safety appear to think the task is best served by keeping a fucking eye on her. She disappears within seconds of leaving the castle. Even if Rhaena comes back with a dragon, I'm pretty sure she's just condemned these men to the wall. Also, I'm amazed that Rhaena appears to be the only person hunting down these wild dragons during a dragon civil war. I hear you. These dragons are all built different. I hear one's a rampant sheep eater, but honestly, aren't they all? And fine, the other's a bit bitey when it comes to other dragons, but isn't that exactly what Aemon wants? Okay, team, we're up. It's time for another Alicent scene. This time the brief is finding purity contrast against the blood on her hands. And no, I don't want a white horse, and I don't want to see someone with literal blood on their hands. You've already filmed it, haven't you? Damn it.
What if one of your base-born, silver-haired dragon riders decides he wants to rule the Seven Kingdoms?
Nobody will be seated while Jace Targaryen pouts and whines. But Mom, if the other bastards get dragons, how will I know I'm still special?
Did you think I would have dark hair when you took Harwin Strong into your bed?
I mean, it's possible, but I'd imagine it would have rather killed the mood.
I mislike all of this.
I mislike making up silly words instead of just saying skip.
They won't be happy.
I'll be very unhappy.
Never live it down.
Never live it down.
Allowing yourself to be peer and beer pressured into facing a dragon on the off chance it's less deadly than facing the disgruntled regulars of this pub.
I don't want you to go.
I have to, Kat.
We'll go to my brother in Tumbleton.
Listen, if you're trying to convince me to forego the chance of claiming a dragon, your alternative had better sound more epic than a retirement village for Teletubbies. Damn it, this beach is a fucking menace. Again, why isn't it being patrolled? Okay, maybe Aemon doesn't know about it, and maybe Larys does, but doesn't want to help Aemon anymore. But could you at least give us a scene of Larys watching this exodus happen? You know, so we have something to pin this victory on that isn't sheer incompetence. These guys are pissed off because they believe the dragons are gods and should be treated with respect, and that respect is best demonstrated by not respecting the dragon's right to choose its rider. No, I get it, dragon monks. As humans, you absolutely know what's best for a dragon's body.
I used to think I knew what it was to claim a dragon. But I understand now that what I thought I knew is ash in the wind.
Sir What's-His-Face Dead Man is barely cold, and Rhaenyra is using him as a witty metaphor. Brutal. Also, at least you can claim to have once known Queenie. We didn't even have a clue to start with, and it appears to be getting more confusing by the episode.
With these two dragons added to our number, the enemy will have no choice but to give way.
Okay, on parchment that seems logical, but no choice is assuming a lot. Mainly it assumes that Aemon's dragon-slaying fueled arrogance won't lead him to believe that he'll win despite being outnumbered. Also, it assumes that Daemon isn't arrogant enough to go to war even after the Green surrender because, well, Daemon be murdery.
Suffering will be ended. And without bloodshed.
Without any more bloodshed, Queen. Any more bloodshed.
Naijot Maziz Vermitos.
Good thing these dragons always hang out in hearing range from whomever summons them. We'll find out later that these caves actually stretch out quite a bit. Imagine how awkward it'd be if Rhaenyra called the dragon and Vermithor just didn't hear her because he was on the other side of the island nomming on a goat.
Vermitos Lukiri.
Prematurely waking someone up and then telling them to stop being grumpy.
Dohairas.
Emma Darcy isn't telling me to Dohairas in this scene.
I've nothing more to tell you. It must be the dragon who speaks.
Okay, but does he have to talk to them all at once? If Vermithor rejects the first volunteer, it isn't going to be with a polite nuzzle. He usually torches the poor f***er, so aren't we looking at a lot of collateral damage? Any of these people could have possibly been the one, but now no one else gets a chance because the first guy was a wimp? Also, why were the guards told to keep everyone in here? What good's that going to do? If they're running for their lives, I doubt Vermithor's going to respect them, so let them run. At the very least, it might give one of them the chance to try again. Also, I know I've been craving some dragon action, but a giant bully of a dragon munching on some lowborn was not exactly what I had in mind. Sure, call me picky, but I just don't get all that much enjoyment out of nameless innocents being flame-grilled and devoured. Who lit this torch? Did the members of the Dragon Pit crew draw straws to see who has to go into the Dragon Cave to light the small side torches? Sure, a dozen civilians had to die, but they had sucky lives anyway, and we're running low on sheep. Worth it. Well, at least we're seeing Rhaenyra be morally questionable up front instead of saving it for the last episode of Season 8. I'm not going to sit here and pretend to understand how the dragons pick their person, but I will say that the triumph of seeing Hugh stare down a dragon with confidence juxtaposed with Ulf falling down crying a bit and still getting picked sure is a choice. It might be completely in keeping with how dragons work in this universe, and I kind of hate it. Take positions? Why the f aren't you already in position? Okay, look, I'll rewind it. Here, right here was your shot. If this dragon was here to fight, you would be f***ed. These guys deserve to be fired immediately, pun intended. Choosing rodeo style for your first dragon ride and surviving.
Once that goes, they got no pass.
I'm calling bullshit that he was able to see that shit from this far away. Okay, maybe he was just avoiding Dragonstone in general, but that is not the picture that's being painted here. Also, hell yeah, what a solid way to end the season. Great setup for season 3. Hang on, there's still an episode left. Oh, shit, this is gonna be so cool. We might even see Rhaenyra on the throne. Let's go! Wait, why isn't this a sin removal?
Don't worry, guys. Charizard's not gonna do anything.
You stand before the Queen of the 7 Kingdoms.
Are you making some of my big evil guy speech right now or something? You're like a mile away.
You kneel quickly for a man so suddenly elevated.
You know how long I've been waiting for this? Woo, I'm about to make a name for myself here.
He heard it from a stable hand, who heard it from his father, a fisherman, whose shipmate claims he saw it.
What's that make us?
Absolutely nothing.
My lord.
My lord.
That is still the term.
I am a god, you dull creature, and I will not be bullied by
Stop looking at me, Swan.